Well, similar to what Peyton was just saying, if you don't have to be out today, stay home, or at least stay home for much of the morning. What I've noticed so far is twofold. One, the crews are trying their best to touch some of those main roads, but the snow is coming down so quickly that it kind of just accumulates on these roadways. Currently, I'm on New Circle Road and going down Nicholasville Road. It was hard to tell the different lanes. That was the big challenge so far this morning, is that the lanes, you couldn't differentiate from one versus the other. So if you're gonna be driving this morning, follow the car in front of you, and again, take it low and slow. This is just too dangerous to be driving at a high rate of speed on. I've skated a couple of times already this morning. We'll send it back to you all in the studio for now. Well, Paul, oh my God, we are slipping and sliding. This couldn't have been better or worse timing, depending how you want to look at it. Just drove off of Manchester Street onto Thompson Road down by the Burl here, and it's slick. You can't mince it. You said it perfectly a moment ago. You want to keep it simple. Don't go too crazy. I saw one car that had skidded off the side of the road on New Circle Road earlier this morning, and I had the chance to drive through some of the neighborhood roads in the Cardinal Valley area a moment ago, and you can see it right here. This is a perfect example. The neighborhood streets have not been touched so far this morning, so that's gonna be the hard part. It's gonna be easy to shovel off and brush off your car, but with how much snow is being packed on, it is certainly going to be slick. So you might want to wait until later on in the day if you're gonna have to go out at all, because it's just too dicey. You don't know what's underneath that snow in terms of ice, and with temperatures so low, Justin was mentioning a moment ago, this snow is not going to be going anywhere anytime soon. It's not going to be melting super, super quick. So definitely be careful out there this morning. And yeah, we'll send it back to you all in the studio.
Right.
Well, if you've known me long enough, you know that I'm relatively cocky and very confident in myself. And today is one of those days where the confidence is, I wouldn't say lower, but it definitely is a little bit shaky because of how dicey these roads are. I've been slipping and sliding all the way around. Doesn't matter if it's a main street, a secondary street, a side street. It's just not good right now. I'm on Ironworks Pike up by the Kentucky Horse Park, making my way towards I-75 because I want to get up onto the interstate to show you what that is like for your morning commute. So we'll probably have that closer to 6:30. And the one thing that I've noticed is that because of how much snow is falling down, and crews have done a fairly good job of clearing some of these main streets, as you can see, it looks like this road has been touched here on Ironworks Pike, at least a little bit, but it's still covering up a lot of the lanes, so it's hard to tell if you're in one lane, if you're in another lane, if you're in a turning lane. So the key is to just take it slowly. Also in your neighborhood, because the snow is covering up the road and they have not touched those, watch out for potholes. Drive extra slow for that, if nothing else. We'll send it back to you all. Well, actually, I got some good news. I'm on I-75 South coming back from Georgetown, and the highway is the clearest road I've seen all morning, at least the southbound side, and I did see a plow working on the northbound side trying to clear some of the lanes up there. Now, all three lanes were not cleared on I-75 South. The left lane, the outermost lane, was not clear, but the middle and right lanes were clear. So it gives a driving opportunity for folks. Now, it doesn't mean you should be going 70 to 80 miles an hour like you would normally. Still want to take it slow because they are slick. And it brings up an important point. A couple of times on the northbound side, I saw cars that had slid off the side of the road. There are police officers there trying to manage traffic and make sure people have the proper space. So as you're driving this morning, if you see cars that are pulled over, or if you see emergency first responders, take it slow, move over if you can. Perfect example, we got a car on the side of the road here. Let's move over, give that person the space. You do not want to have an accident of any kind. We'll have more coming up a little bit later on in the morning, but moral of the story, I-75 not looking too bad for your morning commute. Back to you all in the studio. Well, Paul, similar to what Peyton was just saying, the tertiary roads, they don't look like they've been touched much at all. Right now I'm East Loudoun Avenue, and this road, it seems like it's been touched a little bit, but it might just be more so because of all the cars that I've been driving on it so far this morning. And I want to also echo what Peyton was saying a moment ago. Drive slowly. I've seen a few accidents already on I-75, and it's just not worth it getting to your place a little bit earlier because the road is what you believe to be clear. I've even experienced it going well below the speed limit, but fishtailing a little bit. Now, granted, the vehicle that I'm in only has front wheel drive. If your car has all wheel drive, that's no excuse. still take it slow because you do not know when you could hit a possible slick spot. Because the other thing I've noticed is some of the turning lanes, a lot of the turning lanes actually, have not been cleared at all on some of those main streets. So while the actual road might be good, if you're turning, you're gonna slide a little bit. So take it slow. It's not worth it getting to your destination 5 or so minutes early because you went a tad above the speed limit. So we'll have more coming up in about 30 minutes. Yes, there is no place like home this morning. I'm in the Carducci neighborhood, which is right by Frederick Douglass High School. Krista, you would probably remember this. This is an area where the storms happened in January, driving around, that I actually had to stop because of how icy it was. I wanted to see how it was this time around with the snow, and it is still very, very slick, but it is at least drivable. That is the good news with this snow, is that it didn't bring much ice. It was that light, fluffy snow that Justin was talking about earlier. It'll be easy to sweep off your car, easy to shovel off your driveway. You still want to be careful doing that today. You don't want to overexert yourself. And again, like I've been saying all morning, it is very easy to fishtail and swerve. So take your turns extra slow, make your stops a little bit earlier than you normally would, because at the end of the day, you do not want to spin out. I've seen a few cars spin out throughout the course of the morning today. And shout out to all the first responders who have been making sure people are safe this morning. We'll send it back to you all in the studio. Well, this crash is on Athens Boonesboro Road, right by the on-ramp for I-75 southbound in Lexington. We can confirm that you are still able to get on I-75 south. You just are going to want to take it slow because this is the situation. We have a single vehicle crash. We don't know if it is necessarily weather related. As you can see, the front of the car pretty banged up, which is assumably that it is weather related. The car most likely would have spun out in this instance. Definitely you're going to want to take it slow as you're going on any of the on-ramps or off-ramps of the highways and various roads this morning. As I've noticed throughout the course of the day, those have not really been touched at all compared to some of the main roads. And I haven't seen a plow in a while, so there is probably still some snow accumulation on some of these on and off ramps across the state. Do not know how long this lane will be open. You are still also able to get out of Lexington on Athens Boonesboro Road, out past the highway if you're not going on the highway. But right now, at least one lane is blocked, and we do not know the condition of the driver. We'll work to get that information to you both on air and online as quickly as possible. Yeah, that crash, the tow truck has been on scene and is clearing it currently, so it should be reopened fully momentarily. Some info that we've gotten from Lexington police: it was a single vehicle crash that happened around 7:15 this morning. A man inside that car was taken to the hospital with life-threatening injury, so we'll provide updates as they are made available. Currently, I'm on I-75 northbound, and as you can see, the highway is pretty much all clear from the snow. Is much better compared to some of the main roads in Lexington and some of the side streets especially. Still want to take some extra time this morning if you're going out and about, but it seems like the snow, the main part of it, is behind us. So now we're in that phase where hopefully crews can get it cleared up and we don't have to worry about it too much the rest of the day. Live in Lexington, Tyler Melito, Fox 56 News. Yeah, Krista, currently I'm on West 4th Street right by Transylvania University, and I want to get some information in that we got from Lexington Police a short while ago. Between the hours of 5 a.m. and 8 a.m., they say they responded to 2 injury collisions and 14 non-injury collisions, and those 2 injury collisions includes one that we had as a little bit earlier on this morning, where a man is currently fighting for his life on Athensboro Road after a single vehicle crash there. He had life-threatening injuries. And the things that I've noticed these last little bit in between 8:30 and now: 1, the roads have certainly improved from the standpoint of as more and more cars have driven on them, the ice and snow has certainly started to melt a little bit here. And if we get onto North Broadway, you could certainly see that difference. There is still some slick spots as you're turning, as plows have not really cleared any of the turning lanes. And that's the other thing. The city of Lexington received a lot of criticism and feedback for how they handled the storms in early January and the lack of snowplows and a lack of roads clearing the roads. I have not seen a single snowplow the last hour and a half or so. That doesn't mean that crews aren't working, but that's just from what I'm observing. We'll have more later on tonight. Live in Lexington, Tyler Melito, Fox 56 News.